yeah, welcome to my first ever review. Now, this is the weird thing. I'm not the most articulate bugger in the world, but I've got a few things to say. You might not agree, you might agree. You might think I don't know what I'm talking about, but that's the beauty of it. My opinion's my opinion, whether you like it or not. Let me know in the comments down below. My first title, Black Adam. And the reason I'm holding it upside down is if I'm not happy about it. If I'm happy about it, I'll be all lovely. But we'll talk about it. Now, firstly, there will be spoilers, so just to warn you about that. Now, the first way I look at this is, am I a fan? Am I a fan of the story? Am I a fan of the main star? Am I a fan of anybody in it? That's the kind of thing that would attract me to a film first. Not necessarily the box office that it's done, not necessarily what the effects look like, or even the storyline. It's who's in it. So, The Rock. Yes, I am a fan of The Rock. He's had some ups, he's had plenty of downs, but one of my favourite films is Rampage. So, I like that. I really like Jumanji. Not the third one, I like the first one. So, I am a fan. I will always look to watch the films that The Rock does. I then look at the expectation of the actual title. What was I thinking when I actually bought this or rented it or borrowed it off a mate? My anticipation of this film was, it looks good, it looks a bit darker. And the advertising sent you down that road. So I was quite excited for it. And the one big thing that is always a dread for people is all the good bits in the advert. Because we can all name films where all the good bits of the entire movie are in that 2.5 minute trailer. So then the film blows. A lot of what is in this film, decent parts of it at least, are in the trailer. So that's a big no. It kind of deflates you afterwards. Effects wise, could have been better. The way I look at this is there could have been some more spit and polish on this film, definitely. It took quite a while to come out. I mean, they were advertising and doing first looks and things like that, making you want to see this, showing you that The Rock did everything to be in the best shape of his life. So fucking what? Didn't change the actual film. Story wise, to me, it jumped in too early. On the basis of that, literally starts with them explaining the back history in about 1.5 minutes. Why? It's like a book without a really good introduction. It tries to enthrall you into the story in the smallest amount of time possible, and that damages a decent film, in my opinion. I've got no problem watching a 3-hour film if it's subtle and takes its time, but this isn't that long, and it definitely shows in the story. Half the characters, unless you are an avid DC reader, of course, of the comics, etc., you're not going to know any backstory to these guys. I mean, the guy that grows into a giant, you see Henry Winkler for a couple of, literally 30 seconds, explaining that he's lent it to his nephew who was born with the same powers. And that's it. Literally, less than 30 seconds worth of dialogue explains the whole history of a character. It does not work. You're not invested in the actual person. That's kind of painful. And most characters had that flaw in this film. There really wasn't any kind of story build or explanation to make you invest in any character in this film. So that's when your mind settles back into, let's get to the explosion and see how cool it was. Because you go into like a dumb mode to watch the film, because it's not going to be out of Africa with a decent storyline. And that becomes apparent within the first 10 minutes of the film, in my opinion. Now, effects wise, the fights are good, the action scenes are good, They are not polished. Now, but what I mean by that is, yes, you can see that they've used the same kind of techniques you had for, say, the Matrix, where they're spinning through the air. You can know they use the same kind of rigs and things like that. Quite why they really brought the Shazam part into it doesn't make much of a difference. If Shazam had been in it, maybe it would have helped it a bit. You saw one of the wizards from Shazam in it, but other than that, it felt like an afterthought. But the effects weren't, in my opinion, polished enough. You could see some reverberations in the screen where the backgrounds, where you're focusing on a fight, the backgrounds were blurred when they shouldn't have been blurred in the way they were. It was laziness in production, if you ask me. You could tell, and that takes you out of the experience, which again becomes annoying. And then what you ended up doing, remember, you're not invested in these characters, so you're not like, you don't know what this guy's powers are, and there's no explanation why he's so good. The guy with the wings, why is he able to fight Black Adam so well? Who the fuck knows? I don't know who the cunt is. But this gives you the idea where it becomes a hollow action fest of not polished proportions. So it gets a bit more, it annoys you more. And in the end, we go into the generic, oh, I'm the action man, oh, I nearly get defeated, I walk away slowly, woes away, and then, oh, hang on, I better win the day. There's no originality to the end of this film. Oh, look, they lock him away. Oh, look, he gets, Pierce Brosnan dies, but yet he still gets through to this guy to say Shazam and save the day. Didn't see that coming, like, within 10 minutes of the film starting or anything. So, as a product, not too bad. Action, not too bad. As a quality product, it left me wanting a shitload more. Now, I will start to put my films together in reviews as of 1 to 10. 1 being shit, 10 being the best thing I've ever seen in my life. This to me is a strong 5, only on the basis of the originality of some of the action, and literally nothing else. Some people may think I'm being harsh, I think I'm just being honest. Some of the ways that people were killed was fucking hilarious, especially when he just chucks a person away and he lands about 74 miles that way. That was fucking funny. But altogether, disappointed. I give it 5 out of 10, and I don't think anyone could talk me into a higher figure than that. Let me know your thoughts on Black Adam. Have you bought it? Do you regret buying it? Is it a film that you really want to keep in your DC collection? Me, probably going to sell it, because I see this film going down in price quite quickly. Within 2 days of release, you could pick this up for £20 in CEX. That's the way to gauge a film as well. If a 4K that's 25 quid is going for 20 within 48 hours in CEX, you know their expectations are a bit lower. So that could be a warning sign for anybody. Again, let me know your thoughts on how I've set this first review out. I see it as me just being honest, not trying to be overly complex in my explanations. I'm not Barry Norman. All you old people out there, you'll know who Barry Norman is. I'm definitely not a Jonathan Ross when it comes to reviewing. But you'll get an honest opinion out of me, and I will always point out the good and bad parts of a film. Hopefully you enjoy this. We'll see what we think. Look forward to reading your comments. Let me know your thoughts, guys. Take care, and I'll see you on Monday.